First and foremost, I want to say that I really wish that I had been told these things that I'm about to tell you are super important and can make or break your career. Number one, student evaluations. They are tremendously important. This stakeholder, the student, is incredibly important. And you know how we say in customer service that the customer is always right? This applies here. Number two, your peer evals. Super important as well. You know how it's someone else's house that you enter and you have to follow rules that may be antiquated, may be totally incorrect, may not make any sense, totally don't take into account changes in the discipline or in the infrastructure? Doesn't matter. You are the new kid on the block, and you need to be aware of who holds the power in that group of stakeholders. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, the leadership in an organization aren't the real leaders. There'll be somebody else controlling that individual, but the individual may be the principal, the chair, the provost, or whatever the case may be. There was a writer at the Department of Education at Harvard University who was on loan when I was there to the Department of Psychology, and his name was Dr. Robert Keegan. And he wrote a book, the name, I can't think of it right at this moment, but he said, any new leader must watch before they make any moves for between 15 months and 2 years. Why? It is imperative that that leader learns who really holds the power. And it is infrequently who you think it is. Moreover, another thing that is very important when you enter an organization and want to make change, because that is likely the reason why you were hired. You were hired to make change. You first have to obtain buy-in. No one is going to embrace your amazing ideas unless you obtain buy-in. It doesn't matter how great those ideas are. If you haven't gotten people to like you and obtain buy-in, the likelihood that you're going to get anything accomplished is not high. That's number two. And I venture to say that that is one of the most important, paramount lessons. Obtain buy-in, make no moves until you understand the landscape and you have befriended the power base. Let's move on to number three. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. What does that mean? Don't be too amazing, meaning don't be doing too much, and dare I say, don't be caught doing too little. Don't be too amazing. Don't be working too hard, at least visibly. And don't be working too little, at least visibly. You potentially annoy people, and they will let you know it. That, I believe, is number three. Let's move on to number four. Every organization has a different culture that it is likely to take years to learn. I was talking to a colleague once who was at a university very near to the university that I started at. Actually, I started at a college. I started at a community college, and he was nearby. he was the director of undergraduate admissions and had been there for 5 years. And he said to me that it was just that year that he had learned the culture. What is the culture? The culture can be described as, think African American culture or American culture. How long did it take you to understand the culture in which you live? I understand, and I know a lot of you all do too, the culture of being African American, the culture of being Black. For my New Yorkers, I'm a New Yorker. The culture of being a New Yorker, it is very specific, and it takes years to understand from the inside. And it is imperative that you find someone at your institution who understands the culture of that institution. Because what works in one institution does not work in another institution by any means. I myself was at a Hispanic immigrant serving institution in Newark, New Jersey for 3 years. I thrived. I was not walking on eggshells. I did not, frankly, have to really learn a culture. African Americans, immigrants, Latinos, these are people that I understand, and there is a level of warmth. One of the things that I think is significant about the cultural difference is that I didn't find a lot of questioning of my pedagogy in that institution as related to this one. There is constant pushback and questioning regarding why I'm doing this way and why I'm doing that way, and was that the proper book for that subject matter? You know, academic freedom literally goes out the window when the culture is different. So understand the culture of your new environment. It just doesn't matter that you're moving. I mean, as I mentioned, I moved from a community college to a university, but even if you are moving from a university to another university, I would bet money that the culture is vastly different, and you need to attach yourself to someone who understands that culture. I'm going to leave it right there. We will pick up episode 3 in a couple of days.